Plaintiff Patricia Calvin rented a house from the defendant, and it was the biggest mistake she ever made. Patricia claims the defendant often came onto her property without permission, and she has the video to prove it. She's suing for an illegal eviction and emotional distress. Defendant Carrie Nelson says she started having problems with Patricia after Patricia started neglecting her property. Carrie's countersuing because she claims Patricia threatened her with bodily harm.
All right, start with you.
I met Carrie back in September 2017. I rented a home from her in November. It was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. Every time she came over to my house, she had some neighborhood crackheads with her. I really believe she zoned it herself because everybody she associated with or brought to my house were neighborhood crackheads.
Brought to your house for what?
Checking the yard. She would go through my yard looking for cigarette butts. She'll find a cigarette butt and come in and say...
I'm talking about the drug addicts.
She would bring them with her to do
what?
She said to look through the yard or yard work or stuff like that. But I had a yard guy to do my yard work every 2 weeks, so I had a yard person already.
So she never found anything when she was looking?
Cigarette butts.
Okay.
But I don't smoke. I never smoked in my life. So one time she had the guy over with her, one of the neighborhood crackheads. She pulled a knife on him. My kids came running in the bedroom, said the landlord has a knife, to the guy's chest.
Outside?
Mm-hmm. He was in the backyard. By the time I got out there, he was stumbling around. They got in the truck and left. I also have a witness statement from my daughter for that.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
When you mentioned, did you ever discuss this with her?
Yeah, I did mention that when I gave her my 30-day notice.
What did she say?
Well, when she came over to the house, she basically told me I had no rights.
Okay,
it was
she
her.
didn't say anything specifically regarding the knife?
No.
All right. Let me hear from you.
Ms. Calvin, she did come to it for me in November. I got her reference from a good friend of mine, I thought, a good friend of mine. So I didn't check her background. Mm-hmm. But it turns out that I was okay with Ms. Calvin. She moved in November. I had no problems with her, whatever was going on, until about June, July, when I saw the yard and the house getting a disarray. Broken window dressing, tall grass, cigarette butts in the yard. Went to the back, maggots over the garbage. The stench so bad you couldn't, I have a neighbor with cancer, so bad you couldn't get back there. Broken furniture. But we didn't have problems until then. I sent her notice that the yard was disarray.
What was the response to that letter?
At the end of the day, she told me that she didn't see the problems, the grass was okay, that I was just a nitpicker.
So what type of conversations did you all have during that time regarding the cleanliness of the yard and the window sills, you say, were broken?
The dressing,
or what happened?
blinds all broken
and
apart.
And you mentioned that to her? What did she say about that?
No, I didn't mention that to her. That I didn't come to later.
All right, did that happen? Were they damaged, her property?
No.
Okay.
She didn't do any upgrades, painting, cleaning whatsoever before I moved in the property.
Okay.
So everything was the same when I moved out.
Got it. And what do you want to tell me about the knife situation?
I'd never heard of it before. I'm hearing it like you.
What's the illegal eviction and emotional distress?
Well, back in July, the same friend she says referred her, saw her coming out of my home and called me and said she was coming out of my house. She started doing this on a regular basis. Almost every day she would pop up. She would come through the yard. The kids would run in and say, she's in the backyard. I would see her leaving out the yard. And on the 17th, I served her a notice that I was moving out.
17th of
July.
Mm-hmm.
I served her a notice that I was moving out in 30 days. And I told her because me and my kids were not comfortable there. We did not feel our privacy was respected. Mm-hmm. She felt like she can come in and go whenever she felt like it. And I told her I didn't think that was right. And I gave her notice, and here it is, that I served her, that I was moving out. And I gave that to her on the 17th of July. On the 20th of July, she came over and she served me with this handwritten eviction notice giving me 30 days to move out and said I had to be out by August 1st.
You see it, please.
Okay.
I then explained to her that that's not 30 days, it's August 1st. And I said, I had already given you a notice that I'm moving out August 31st. What's the need for the eviction? So she was like, oh, well, you pay your rent on time. You know, there's not a problem with the rent. The house is in order. I just can't have people talking back to me and telling me when I can come and go as I please. I have video, and these are the transcripts of all the videos. I videotaped every time she came to my home.
All right.
Because the house is good and you pay rent on time. I just can't have dissension.
I know what the rights are. I called, I checked.
And they said?
Yes, I'm supposed to get a 24-hour notice.
Before I come,
Yes, ma'am.
Before I come in the house or outside of the house?
Both.
You scared me in the backyard. I didn't know who that was.
Scared so easily, but
Scared so easily. Why do you creep around like
I
that?
can do that.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
Well, 2 days, get out.
You can't creep around like that.
Get out.
You can't creep around like
2
that.
days, get
You
out.
can't creep around like that.
I can do anything.
But what if I thought somebody was trying to break in? You scared the out of me.
care. You don't try to wipe your
You know what? You need to. You know what? I paid you, so you need to get out of my yard.
Find someplace else to
I have. But you creep around here.
Get me proper then. Get the
You creeping around here. No, you can't. No, you can't.
watch and see.
Okay, well, no, you can't.
You look like you walking like you creeping too. Man, you can't do that. She's right. I'm just humoring you and saying that perhaps you had good intentions picking up the cigarette butts, but you can't come onto her property anytime you want. You can't even go in the backyard anytime you want. You have to give them, typically it's 24-hour notice. I don't know what agreement you all had. Sometimes it's 12-hour notice. All right.
Well, she wasn't moving, so that was the day I was checking because I didn't see her moving, so.
All right. What happened after that,
Okay.
ma'am?
Like I said, we agreed that my move-out date was August 31st. August 30th, I found out she went and filed eviction on me. And how I found out that the house that I was supposed to move in, I contacted the lady because, I hadn't heard from her. She said, well, you have been denied because you have an eviction on your record from where you live. And I was like, no, I don't. And I went online and checked. True enough, she filed an eviction on me. She came by the 30th, the day she filed. Like I said, I didn't know she had filed that day. And she kept coming, you have to be out of here. If you're not out of here by tomorrow at midnight, you're going to pay me a whole nother month's rent. I said, I will be out. I said, could you please leave me alone and quit coming over here harassing me? I'll be out of your house. She made a U-turn. She came back. She got out the car again, cursing at me.
Creeping.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It doesn't matter. I was not creeping.
She was cursing at me and everything. So I'm rushing to get my stuff out. Like I said, at this point, I was denied for the house. I had nowhere to go.
Okay.
I got the truck. I put my stuff in storage. I went.
How long did it take you to get another place?
I moved October 1st.
When were you to move in the new one? The one you were turned down for?
That one I was supposed to move in the 31st.
So you missed an entire month
Yes.
of residency because of the eviction placed on your record.
Yes,
That's
because
what you're
I lost
saying.
the place.
Okay, and so what happened when you all went to court?
Okay. Well, this shows that the day she filed it on the 30th. This here shows that. We went to
Let's
court.
see it, please.
We went to court July 13th. I'm sorry, September 13th.
Yep.
And at that point,
Go ahead,
I told
I
the
see.
judge I would like for it to be taken off my, dismissed and taken off my record because as of this point, me and my kids are homeless. And this is what, he had me to fill this out. And he took the eviction off my
Good.
record.
So the damage you suffered was that 1 month that you were unable to obtain a residency based on her erroneous filings or her abusive process, if anything. If what I'm hearing is true, ma'am, what you did is you engaged in...
That's not true, though.
Okay,
Thing of it
well,
is not true.
I have some evidence here, so you'll have to give
I
me
have
yours,
evidence,
but let
okay.
me finish, please.
All right.
Abusive process. In other words, you all had an agreement and you jumped that agreement by going to the court instead, which caused a blemish on her record. So if what she says is true, you misrepresented what you intended to do. So go ahead, you tell.
Okay. First of all, I have a letter on the date that I gave Ms. Calvin her eviction notice, which
Let's
was...
see it, please.
Okay. This says the 17th, but it was on the 20th.
I gotta go with what that says.
But I wrote the date wrong.
Now you're trying to abuse this process.
Judge Mathis.
What, ma'am?
I didn't come back to her house until August 30th when she threatened to kick my butt, okay? To see if, because I saw nothing moving from the house. So on the 31st is when she decided, she says, give me one more day. I give her the extra day, but she don't come back so we can do the walkthrough until 9:30 at night. Okay, so I didn't illegally evict her.
I didn't say anything about you
What did you
illegally
say?
evicting her. I said you filed eviction papers,
No, I
even
didn't file
though you
eviction,
had
Judge
agreed to a certain time.
Judge Mathis, I didn't file eviction until August 31st, August 30th, okay?
Well, let me look.
Look at the thing.
I got the record.
Look at it. Look at it. I didn't go to court. September 13th is when we went into court. Her eviction was on the 30th. Right. I didn't do that until the 30th.
And you all had agreed July 17th.
No.
I'm looking at it.
The
You
date
wrote
of
something
her-
at the top, the date.
Her eviction is for the 20th.
Now, ma'am, I'm going to go with what you wrote here.
Wow.
Now, you tell me something. What do you mean, wow? You have an agreement I'm looking at. Like I'm doing something wrong to you. What's some wow? You handed me this?
Can I give you this?
What is it?
It's another eviction.
What
It's
is
a second
it?
eviction.
Pardon me?
It's the eviction notice here for if you want to look at
I ain't ready to have it. He worked for me. So, we're going to finish
Her
this
eviction-
first.
her eviction,
All right,
Judge
we're going to
Mathis.
finish this, ma'am.
All right.
On,
Her eviction
on
was
July.
from. I
Okay,
came
you're not
to her
going to let me
house.
talk.
All right.
All right. I'm about to end this case, ma'am. You're being disrespectful. You won't let
Okay.
me talk. You're
Okay.
talking over me. Take this. Judge, I'm trying to tell you the law and you talking over me. Take this. Take this. I'm not ready for it. Take it. All right. The eviction wasn't illegal. However, it did hurt your credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But it was removed from your credit.
Yes, it was.
All right. So, but for that 1 month, it was on your credit and you suffered damage by not being able to get another place while it was on your credit. And that was the emotional distress as well as the misrepresentation as to when you can leave. How does she owe you, ma'am? $2,000.
I'm suing for emotional distress because of all the things that Ms. Calvin has done. She threatened to kick my butt in front of her children. I'll kick your if you don't do this or do that. She threatened
If you don't get off my property.
Well,
I
no,
heard it.
I was my property. I was like just seeing if she was leaving at the time. And apparently she wasn't. That's when she said she was going to bodily harm me. So I end up calling the police and telling them that if she was
What'd
leaving.
they tell you?
Well, they were going to do a walkthrough. She wouldn't let me. She ended up coming
No,
to
the
my
police
house.
about the threat. We're talking about the threat. You say you called the police about the threat.
They said, well, when you get ready to move out, call us. It was
Okay,
5
good
minutes.
enough. They ignored your
No,
threat.
they said to call. They would come there and do the walkthrough with me.
All right.
Right,
Good
they
enough.
would call-
Now,
they
that had
call
nothing
us.
to do with the threat that was made.
They said, call us. When you get ready to walk through the house, we
What
will
else
come
does she
there
owe
and
you
walk
money
with you.
for?
I'm suing for the stress because she keeps harassing me.
How?
She writes me letters.
Saying what?
I don't know because I didn't open
Okay,
it.
well,
But
it's not harassment if you haven't read them. It could say, how was your day? I love you. I had a change of heart. In fact, I don't even want any money. And now she got mad because you didn't respond. So she said, well, I'm going to go get my money. Nice as I was to her in that letter, I told her I loved her. I told her I forgive her. I told her we should go to church together. And she just going to blow me off. I'm mad. I'm going to sue her now. See, you should open that letter. It could have been something nice in there. Now she mad and want her money. You should open that letter. Let me let you go, ma'am. But
No,
she's
because
going to win, ma'am, period. She's going to win. You superseded the process, abused the process, misrepresented what you had told her you all were going to do. You superseded and filed an eviction notice. The result was it went on her record, ruined her credit for that time until they removed it. For that, I'm granting her $3,000. Nothing you've said has convinced me that she has caused you any emotional distress. Have a good day.
I would like to say nobody should rent from this lady. She's a nut. She's a crackhead. And she will come in and out of your house when she feels like it. And you will not have no privacy and no respect at all.
everything she said was a lie. I'm not even. Everything she said was a lie. I don't go to my tenant's home. She had cigarette butts all in the yard. I'm spending $500 now just to do the paint job from the smoke in the house. I never harassed her, never came by. Only in July when the property was curtains all and cigarettes and stuff in the yard. And I'm asking her, Patricia, clean it up. Well, I don't think it's bad. You're this, you're that.